JJ the CPA. It is April 2nd. I just want to give everybody a quick update, kind of where we're at. So I've heard from a number of bankers here at the end of the day that they've not really gotten any direction from the SBA on how to fund tomorrow. So it's probably going to be like, it's going to feel like the end of the business world as we know it, so to speak. Not to get too dramatic, but I know that there's a lot of clients of mine that are riding on this application getting, submitted tomorrow for the Paychex Protection program. And so most likely my message is just don't get mad with the banks. Okay, I am a little frustrated that some of the banks seem to be asking for more information than others. I've decided to get over it because at the end of the day, if a bank wants it, just send it to them. And I have successfully, though, had 4 of my clients that their bank was just kind of clearly not in the know. And I said, well, let's just go to this other bank that bank is in the know. So what I've been doing today, and the reason I'm telling you this, is that this is what's working with banks that I feel like really get the program, the PPP. Is that, I've been pulling together, and you'll see other videos, is the 941s for the last 4 quarters, and I mean 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 19, 1st, 2020, as well as then the insurance premiums and then the employer match, because, you're just taking all those things, divide it by 12 times 2.5, there's your max loan. Everyone's been very pleased at how easy the application has been for the PPP out from the SBA. It was amazing that they got it out as quick as they did on Tuesday. So really hats off to the SBA on getting that out there. We're basically putting an aircraft carrier in the water, in the sense of this is unprecedented, monumental, never happened in the history that I know of in the United States of America, the kind of relief that's getting ready to be paid out. So there's a lot of people out there that are waiting. My concern tomorrow is that there'll be a lot of letdown with people that their applications didn't get submitted. Or the banks have to tell them, hey, we had no guidance at all how to get this to you. So the first thing to know is I don't know how anybody would actually be walking out of the bank with a check tomorrow, because there is a little bit of a process. Their hope was a 48-hour turnaround. But nonetheless, what needs to happen by Monday, though, is that hopefully the SBA will just then lay down the gauntlet of what is actually required for the loans, because here's what's going to happen next week. Right now, in my opinion, on Thursday, 4/2, everybody's kind of in that, how when right after you get a whooping from one of your parents, and you're just like, and you kind of just will do anything that's needed, and that's kind of where small businesses are right now. Whooping being what happened to the economy, kind of a little bit like, hey, what do you need? I'll get it, and well, I don't know, and a little meek, not weak, but meek, right? In the sense of like, hey, what do you need? I'll do this, I'll do that. I'm going to tell you, come Monday or Tuesday, I'm predicting the mood will change. So I'm really hoping that the banks will either get more direction from the SBA, or maybe just compare notes a little differently, because here's where the sentiment I think will be next week. People still didn't get their money, which is not the fault of the banks. And then when the money starts coming in, I feel like it'll be with the banks that properly got information that would be required to substantiate the actual advance. So what may happen is people applied, they gave the bank what the bank asked for, but they don't get their money. And then we're now talking like mob mentality, okay? So banks, I think you got a choice to make, in my opinion, which is maybe you don't do as many as you're saying, because it may backfire on you, okay? We know yesterday they came out, the government, and said any unforgiven amounts is a 0.5 loan. Well, that's not real attractive to the banks, and I'm going to talk about that why in another video. But anyways, where we're at is we're on the eve of when we should be able to have banks submit applications for funding to start, which would mean maybe there's money coming down the pike Monday or Tuesday, which would be an amazing miracle. But I think what you want to brace for is the banks will have a little bit of wah, 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 wah as we go into the weekend. And most small business owners will be like, all right, well, now you got Saturday and Sunday to be thinking about it, and you got Saturday and Sunday with business owners thinking about the week to come. You're thinking about the next payroll. You were hoping maybe the PPP money would come in so you could pay rent. So next week, I just feel like the sentiment in America is going to change to an angry one in the sense of frustration. Okay? In the sense of frustration. So bottom line is the banks that are in line and are asking for what I'm telling you they need, that's the secret code here. It's not because of me. It's because if you're with a bank and they're asking for payroll info and they want the last 12 months, okay, and they want 941s for the last 4 quarters, which means the last 3 in 19 and the first quarter in 2020, I think you have the best possibility of making sure that now when the SBA is going through the documents, that those are going to, seems like to me, would fly through, okay? So don't get me wrong. I mean, it seems like the banks have now been able to get some direction from the SBA that they can just rely on 19's payroll. But the law is the last 12 months. And I'll tell you this, I've got a client that if we just went by 19, he wouldn't get as much money because his payroll's been doing this. So at the end of the day, if you're going to get mad at anybody, you better just get mad at the ground and go do some push-ups or something, because the banks are doing all they can, even though I think some of them are running around like Scooby-Doo. And the SBA is doing all that they can, and we're in a panic situation, and everybody's home, and we have a crisis situation. And I think next week it's going to turn pretty much into a frustrated, which comes out as mad mentality. So hopefully this will get solved. And my point in this whole video is go with the bank that's just asking you for payroll info, insurance info, and employer match info. They're asking for the 941s. Now, if they want a few tax returns on top of that, whatever. But go with a bank that's asking for the last 12 months. I don't know what it is with people when they say, well, this banker said this. Go with the bank that's going to do the last 12 months, because next week, be one of the first ones that are going to get this money, which means pick a winner. Pick a winner. I know the banks are trying hard, but they need to try harder. The ones that are asking for more than what's required, try harder. So video next on why I think the banks are asking for more than what is required, which actually makes sense to me. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm JJ the CPA. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my videos. This was an update for April 2nd, Thursday, on the eve of our hope that PPP applications will be able to be submitted. Let's hope.